On the show today, Kenya engages World Bank for $750 million loan for budget support. Airtel Africa plans London share sale to help reduce debt. Plus, Tanzania targets big increase in mineral revenue. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Business Incorporated. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu. Let's get the show started now with the markets and let's look at the numbers coming from the major African stock markets, starting from here in Nigeria, where the all-share index was looking relatively very good at intraday with gains of close to 2%. On the other hand, the South African index was 0.06% lower. The EGX 30 in Egypt was up 0.39%, also at about midday Nigerian time, while Kenya ended Monday's session 0.64% higher. And in the Middle East, all the markets we track here were in the green at intraday, with the Dubai index leading with 1.24%. The Abu Dhabi index was up 0.26%, while Qatar was 1.15% positive. The Saudi index was 0.11% higher, also at intraday. And in Europe, shares traded higher in the morning as investors continued to monitor political developments in the continent. Ulrich Bert has more to tell us. Hello, Ulrich. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
So, EU starts deliberations on top posts today. Top of the list is the President of the EU Commission, who is in the running. And what does it mean for people in the market?
Well, the President of the EU Commission is obviously the top dog when it comes to formulating policy. The ministers, the heads of state and government, still sign off on it, but the Commission plays a huge role and is responsible, for example, for competition cases and for all sorts of other important policy decisions. And the favorite, I think, going into these deliberations is Manfred Weber, a German from the conservative CSU, who led the nomination list for the parliamentary elections for the center-right. And the center-right, it did lose a lot of voters, but it still came out as the strongest party bloc in the new parliamentary in the new parliament in Strasbourg. And the Liberals and the Greens gained, so there might be some contention as to Manfred Weber actually moving from the election success with a small s into the top position at the EU Commission. And also it's known that President Emmanuel Macron of France is not exactly a fan of this type of maneuver. I think France would like to see someone like Michel Barnier, the Brexit negotiator of the European Union, to perhaps move into that slot. And a lot depends on who gets it and what country he or she comes from, because if it's the German Manfred Weber at the Commission, that practically rules out a German at the European Central Bank. That post becomes available end of October when the current president, Mario Draghi, retires. He reaches the end of his term. And if a German is in the Commission, it's practically ruled out that Germany's Jens Weidmann, the president of the Bundesbank, would also get a slot with heading the European Central Bank. Germany would like both posts. It's not going to get them. But if someone other than Manfred Weber takes over in Brussels, then Weidmann has a chance. It is a chance. It's not a given, because other countries will oppose Jens Weidmann. He's known as a hawk, that is opposing the years-long ultra-loose monetary policy under Draghi.
In Germany, where you are, Ulrich, there are some news on German banks. The supervisory authority, BaFin, is demanding more hard capital in order for them to be on more solid footing, to be ready to address risks. How is that being commented on where you are?
Well, it's seen as a move that's, of course, making banks safer. It's intended to do that. At the same time, it's also stressing the banks. They have to reserve more capital for that, which can't go into growth, which can't go into the market, which can't go to shareholders in the end. The talk is from the BaFin, the supervisory authority here in Germany. The German banks need 0.25 percentage points more in capital over the next year, starting July. And that totals over 5 billion euros that the banks have to come up with for that. And that's a sum that's nothing to sneeze at. The bank lobbyists are immediately critical and saying this is coming at the worst of times, considering record low interest rates, which makes earning money, which makes life for the banks hard enough as it is.
Another interesting news out there, Alibaba apparently weighing a second listing to raise billions more in Hong Kong. Tell us more.
Yeah, the original IPO in New York raised about $25 billion. This one could raise about $20 billion if it takes place. The reports say that it will take place in Hong Kong in the second half of the year. And it would not only give Alibaba more money for expansion, it needs more money. It needs to do something to prop up the local market, its local market, China. Their growth has disappointed. So that's one motivation. Another could be a political statement aimed at the United States. Look, we're not just dependent on Wall Street. We're not just dependent on you. We're also doing our own thing over here. So an interesting move by Alibaba. This comes against the backdrop of the share really taking a hit in the past couple of weeks. Since the beginning of April till now, it's lost considerably from about $200 to about $155. And it remains to be seen if this trend continues, if it stays like this, whether Alibaba really wants to go through with a huge IPO like this at prices like that.
Well, Ulrich, we'll leave it at that for today. Enjoy the rest of the day.